Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the All Memphis Post Game Show, where we react to University of Memphis men's basketball, Tigers men's basketball games, and Memphis Grizzlies games right after they happen. You don't have to wait for our takes. And we back for another Tigers Talk Thursday. We'll probably sprinkle the Grizzlies in at the end since the Grizzlies play tonight. But ain't gonna be on here long, man. Is the Tigers since our last. First off, start the show off. If you haven't already, go ahead, click the subscribe button, thumbs up, click the link. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe and like, thumbs up. If you're on Facebook, give me a like, leave a comment. I see my boy Campbell up in here from the DR. What you doing in the DR, my boy? What you doing down there? You always go to the DR. You never tell me to come. Never invite me. Anyway, let's talk about the Memphis Tigers tonight, who beat the Temple Owls 78-64. Good game for the Tigers. They're coming off a road loss to SMU on Sunday. They got rolled by 20, I think, 20-22, something like that on Sunday. But we're at the point of the season now where the only thing that matters is wins, right? We can talk about everything else. We can talk about everything else. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about style of play, substitution patterns, penny this, penny that. All that matters at this time of year is wins. And this is I will give Penny credit, Coach Penny credit in this. Is around this time every season the Tigers do go on the run. If you remember, it was around this time last year. So far, as of this year, the Tigers have won seven of their last 8. If you remember last year around this time, it was the same thing. They went on a crazy run, and they just happened to lose to Houston 3 times in their run, twice in the regular season and once in the conference tournament. Now, a lot of that is aided by the fact that they play in the American, where they don't play that much competition. So after you do play your Wichitas or your Cincinnatis or your SMUs or your Tulsas, you have a bunch of ECUs, Tulanes, Temples, South Florida, Central Florida, yada, yada, yada. But all you can do is play the teams in front of you, and at this point, it's all about wins, getting the dub. And if you listen to last show, which a lot of y'all did, I appreciate that. If you listen to last show that I did last Thursday before the SMU game, it was like the outcome of the SMU game doesn't really matter. Like now in hindsight, you wouldn't want them to lose by 20, but it didn't hurt them in the tournament standings. So you have the Tigers win profile. The Tigers profile is already strong enough to keep them in the conversation. So all you have to do is just handle your business and win games. Just don't lose games you're supposed to win. Tonight looked kind of shaky against Temple. Temple was a good, scrappy team, kind of gave the Tigers all they could handle for the first 25 minutes, and then the Tigers' talent just took over, which it usually does against teams like that. But the most important thing that came out, 2 things that came out of this game today. They won the game, which what I said was that's the most important thing. And 2 is you kind of saw Penny cut down his rotation. You didn't see much early. You saw Earl Timberlake early in the first half. I don't remember seeing you see him in the heavy minutes in the second half. You didn't see much of Minot either. Let's look at the minutes. Minot played 8 minutes. Earl Timberlake played 8 minutes, and Jaden Harley played 8 minutes. Chandler Lawson played 3, and and I believe some of those minutes. I turned the game off to turn the Grizzly game on. When the outcome wasn't in doubt. But you look at these, like he rolled with his guys. DeAndre played 29, Jalen Duran played 34, Lester played 28, Alo played 28, Tyler played 23, and Landers Noddy played 29. And then Josh Minot played 8 minutes. So that's just 6. I mean, that's your 7. There's your 7 right there. Earl you ain't gonna see much of Earl in those situations. And then the worst thing, man, I saw him working out. The worst thing Penny can do right now is bring Imani Bates back. This team, the chemistry is too good for this team right now. They're playing way too well. You do not want to do that. You cannot give Penny too many options because he doesn't know what to do with them. Keep this 7-man rotation that he got, and he's gonna be fine. That 7, like he let them play through foul trouble. DeAndre ended up with 3 fouls, Lester with 4, Alo with 4, Tyler with 3. It don't matter. It didn't even matter. Like Penny was gonna roll with his guys, and you saw it. And that's what he's gonna have to do. That's what good coaches do at this time of year. You pick your 7, and that's it. And so he has to roll with those guys. And I think introducing Imani back into this it ain't gonna help. It ain't gonna help. He don't need no more tools in his toolbox. You got the tools that you know what to do and you know how to work with. So that's what Penny needs to do. But let's look at some of the other stuff from this game tonight. Jalen Duran was a beast. 22 points, 6 rebounds. DeAndre Williams, 19 points, 9 rebounds. Jalen had 17 points in the first half. It's something, if it's a pattern from this team, that they feed Jalen Duran early in the first half, but you don't really see them feed down low in the post, but you don't really see them feed him as much in the second. And I wish I would have did a shot breakdown from first half to second half. But like I said, he scored 17 of his 22 points in the first half. And it was a close game. Like they were only up by 1. They were about 1 going in the half. And then they kind of blew it open in the first 7 minutes of the second half. And that's when DeAndre was kind of doing his thing. DeAndre and Jalen Duran were killing the game. I'm with you, Campbell. Maybe Jalen needs to get some more rebounds, but you know, I'm okay with the 22 and 6. DeAndre was out there cleaning up. DeAndre got the 9 boards. Lester had 5. You know, those going to be your rebounding guys. You're going to always need Lester, DeAndre, and Jalen to have over 5 rebounds each. This is because they got nobody else to rebound for you. So I think that was good. Lester made some shots, 3 of 8. Landers was 4 of 7 for 12 points. Kind of lost in some places. Alo played a solid game, over 2, 6 assists, 3 turnovers. You know, that's what you get from him. You can take what you can get. Tyler came in, made some shots, 2 for 5 from 3-point line. Made some free throws. He also had 3 assists, 4 rebounds as well. Tyler, man, but this is against, these are the teams that you can use Tyler with, use Tyler against. Some other teams, he's just a liability out there because he's so small. But against teams like the Temples, the Wichita States, the South Floridas, you can use Tyler against. The Houstons and more, and I don't even want to say more physical team, because this Temple team was really physical. But Tyler kind of got off against them. So there you go. With some of these other teams he has a problem with. You saw some good action run. Like I said in the last show, Penny's been calling the plays, or somebody on the bench been calling the plays. Damn near every time down the court. So, you know, that's something that is good. You can see some kind of offensive identity. It's like I said, especially in that first half. The one thing that does kind of worry me, and you saw it on display in the SMU game, is when teams adjust, how does Penny and his coaching staff adjust? The SMU game, Memphis played a really good first half, kind of kept Kendrick Davis in check as much as they could, as much as you can keep Kendrick Davis in check. And then in the second half, SMU just kind of changed, they tweaked it a little bit, and then they came out and ran off. And it was the same thing against Cincinnati too. The Tigers kind of outran Cincinnati that first half. And in the second half, Cincinnati made a few adjustments. Cincinnati's made a few adjustments and got back in the game. So Penny's going to have to learn to adjust some things on the fly, and not just stick to his one game plan coming in. Because I think when some of these other teams, like when they know to take away Jalen in the second half, because he always has a good first half. I would love to do. I should have did that. Maybe before the next one, I want to see his first half and second half numbers. All right, Cameron, be easy, boy. I want to see his first half and second half numbers and touches. And I'm sure they go down drastically in the second half. But the name of the game at this point is to win the games. And like we said last show, Like we said last show, all you gotta do is you lose. Even if you lose to SMU, you can't lose these next three: Temple, against Wichita, and against USF. And I strongly believe they're going to beat Houston. I haven't seen anything out of Houston to make me think that Houston can beat them here in Memphis. Um, Especially not even after that first game, like game by 10 or whatever. And yeah, I think UNC Memphis is a better team than Houston. Houston is missing its two best players, but all they got to do, win that game, and you're good. And even if they lose the Houston game, they're still pretty good. They'll still be in a decent spot. But you got to play that, and that's what it is at this point in time. You've done enough, but you haven't done enough. So it's all about winning. It's funny to me how, I guess the radio, the local media, and the people got to have something to talk about on radio shows, but like living and dying by the bracketology every day. When at this point in time in the year, the bracketology changes every day. Teams lose, like teams win and teams lose. Bubble teams win, bubble teams lose. And it's just interesting that excuse me. It's just interesting that that's what they do. Like, we've all been around this game long enough to know that, like, these last 2 weeks of February, first week of March before a conference tournament, like, this is bubble watch. You don't have to live and die with the bubble. You just do what you're supposed to do, and the bubble gonna work itself out. So I don't care if I wake up in the morning and Joe Lunardi got Memphis on the bubble, or like in Arizona's instance, I would love to be a 1 seed. But I would love to be a 1 seed, because then obviously your road is a little bit easier. But I'm a 2 seed. Okay, there you go. Like, I'm not gonna lose sleep if we lose a game and they take us from a 1 seed to a 2 seed. They don't matter to me. And I know it's a lot different than talking about being a 1 seed and 2 seed and being in or out the tournament, but it's kind of the same thing. You can't wake up and refresh the bracketology every hour after games and be surprised or disappointed by what you see. Like, just check it once every few days. Like, Memphis doesn't play again until what's today? Today is Thursday. Memphis don't play again until the 27th. What's that? Till Sunday. So, like, they played. So you got Friday and Saturday. So you're gonna wake up tomorrow. They'll be in the tournament. They'll be off the bubble. They'll be like last 4 in. They'll still be one of the play-in games. And then after Friday night's games, they might be out. And after Saturday night's games, they might be out. But you come in on Sunday, and you play Wichita State. You beat them. It doesn't matter. You back in. Like, just win the games. Play the game. Win the games in front of you. Do what you're supposed to do, and everything else gonna take care of itself. Like, they played themselves in this position to be able to be in this position. So that's all you got to do. Okay. Okay. Hey, keeping an eye on this UCLA Oregon game. I bet UCLA -3. UCLA is down about 1 with 5 minutes to go. So hopefully they can pull that out to save my parlay. And I think I put USC in there too, not knowing that Boogie Ellis and somebody else are going to be out for SC. So that might be that might be the one to lose it for me. Let's see. Yeah, I just got them win on the money line. I think the rest of SC could beat Oregon State on the money line, and then obviously we got Arizona by 10.5 over Utah, and they're up by 4 right now, first half. So I don't know why I told y'all that, but I just did. Memphis covered tonight too, which is good. They were a 10-point favorite. They ended up winning the game by a whole lot more. And all you can do at this point in time, for the third time, win the games, play okay. At this point, it don't even really matter how well you play. You just got to win the games, because we know what you're capable of when you put it all together. And so the takeaways from tonight's game: win the games. Hopefully Penny stays with this shortened rotation, because the shortened rotation is going to get them exactly what they need and put them exactly where they need to be. Don't introduce Imani back into this, and keep the shortened rotation. And don't worry about the bubble, bro. You can't control that. Only thing you can just worry about what you can control. You can control going out there and beating the teams in your schedule. So you go do that. Another thing that I mention all the time when I talk about the Tigers is the refereeing crew that they get. They put so much pressure on their opponents and on the referees that it's sometimes difficult to watch because you see the referees let some physical play go and then they call a ticky tack foul some other time. And I'm always thinking what's going to happen when they run into that very conservative referee crew who calls that thing. Like I said, like with the 7-man rotation and as fast and as physical as they play, they might have an issue with that if they run across the wrong refereeing crew. So that's something, but that's the way they play. And so you got to be ready for that. And those other guys, when called, don't have to be able to step up. But at some point, they're gonna run against a crew that don't like that. They don't like their physical play. And I mean, they've done it a few times. Like some of the fouls and stuff that you see in some that you've seen in some of these early games, excuse me, have dictated a lot. And so it was actually refreshing to see Penny let his people play with fouls because they're gonna have to learn how to play with fouls. They're gonna have to do like DeAndre Williams, 27 years old. He's gonna have to learn how to play with 3 fouls. He's also way too demonstrative for me. I've said that before. For him to be the oldest player on the court, he act like he's the youngest. But anyway, that's something that they all have to think of, that they have to take into consideration is the way that the refs will call the game. And so that's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see. Sometimes the reffing is a little less tight in the tournaments, and sometimes it's tighter. And so we'll go from there, man. I'm going to try to stretch this thing out to 20. I guess I can talk about the Grizzlies for a couple minutes. Grizzlies lost to Minnesota tonight by 5. I think it was 114, 119, something along those lines. Let me check that score. Yep, 114, 119. So this is the Grizzlies 2-game losing streak. They lost against the Portland Trailblazers right before the All-Star break, and they come back and they lose against the Timberwolves tonight. They got Chicago coming up on Sunday. I believe that's Sunday the 27th. Nah, that might be on Saturday then. Yeah, they got the Bulls on Saturday. Ja hurt himself a little bit. I ain't worried about this loss. Even with the Grizzlies, man, like it's the same thing. Like they have 21 games left now. Win your games. Win the games and don't have any bad losses. You're making the playoffs. So just prepare yourself to make the playoffs. When Dylan Brooks get back, integrate him the best you can. Like, figure out a way to make that situation work. And then just get ready for playoffs. Like I said, I don't know if Josh should play on Saturday. He hurt himself really bad in the game tonight. Hip, hamstring, he was limping. We got another season to think about. It's a long season. This game ain't gonna really matter too much. It mattered more to Minnesota than it did to us, and that's for sure. They were very, very excited to win. Minnesota's a tough team to play for the Grizzlies. They match up really well with the Grizzlies. The season series was split. We won 2, they won 2, and so you got to think we beat them here. We won the home games and they won the away games because the first time we played the Timberwolves in Minnesota, they blew the Grizzlies out by like 40, and then we came back and won here again, and so each team took care of home court in that. But you saw some good things. It took a D'Angelo Russell crazy fourth quarter for them to win by 5, right? Ja kind of came back on his same tip until he hurt himself. Desmond had a uncharacteristically bad shooting game. Jaren was Jaren. Jaren's going to have to get back his consistency. But I think they'll look at tonight and see some decisions that Taylor made. Taylor Jenkins had John Contra out there in crunch time 4 minutes ago. I don't know exactly why, but nobody could stop D'Angelo Russell, and you got 2 really good defenders in DeAnthony Melton or Desmond Bain or Kyle Anderson or Zaire. Like, you've had Zaire guarding Steph Curry and Giannis and some other people all through the season, but you don't want him to guard D'Angelo Russell. That was weird. Or even Tyus, who knows, but it is what it is. First game back from the All-Star break on the road. Who knows when the team got together? They even had a practice. Maybe they all met in Memphis yesterday, practiced for a little bit, flew to Minnesota, had to shoot around and walk through, and they'll be able to get through some other stuff at practice tomorrow and then walk through on Saturday for the Bulls. But I'm not too worried about that. I guess the bigger worry is if Ja's healthy or not. You just want to go into the playoffs as healthy as possible, and having Ja hurt himself the first game back isn't ideal. So you want to look into that. But Dylan should be back in the next week and a half. I think they said maybe around middle of the second week of March. So that gives you about 16 to 18 games to get him integrated back in and get ready for the playoff push. But not too worried about the Grizzlies. Not too worried about the Tigers. Like I said, the Tigers have won 7 of 8. They're on the right side of the bubble for now. And then tomorrow they might not be. Then the next day they will. And tomorrow that's not be. So that's what happens when you live in that bubble life, dog. So with that being said, I'm gonna pass the collection plate around. Make sure if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You're on Twitch or Facebook, like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. I don't know if I ever had a Twitch viewer. But we'll be back next Thursday. So by the time we come back next Thursday, the Tigers will have played Wichita on Sunday. And let's check their schedule out. They would have played Wichita on Sunday and South Florida on next Thursday. So we got 2 more games to talk about. It could be another short show if they handle their business. They're supposed to win these 2 games. They should beat Wichita by 10 or 15, and they should beat South Florida by 25 points. It ain't gonna be much to talk. It ain't gonna be much to talk about unless they lose. But like I will say it again, since we got some new people in here. What's up, Jo? At this point in time of the season, it's all about winning. Like I said, I don't even care how well you're playing. It's all about winning, and it's all about taking care of your business. And the way the Tigers can do that, if Penny keep that short rotation, you got to keep that short rotation. You had 6 guys play over 20 minutes, and Josh might not play right at 8, almost 10 minutes. That's his rotation. That's his 7. He got to run. He got to run with this 7 or what? In line for a 1 seed for the conference tournament. Jo, let's look at the standings. Let's look at the Memphis Tigers standings. I believe they might be. Excuse me. They are 2.5 games back right now. The Tigers. Oh, man. All right. It's time to go. I'm talking about the NCAA. Boy, y'all in line for number 1 seed in the playoff. I mean, the play-in in Dayton. Y'all going to play on that Tuesday. But at least you still make the tournament. That's the thing. The only thing is win the games in front of you, make the tournament. You live in that bubble life. You know what I'm saying? One day you in, one day you out. 1 hour you in, 1 hour you out. Just focus on what you can control. Worry about what you can control, and can control what you can control. You can't control it. You can't control if BYU beats Loyola Marymount tonight. You can't control that, and you can't control how the committee looks at that. All you can control is winning the games you're supposed to win and handling your business, and that's what they're doing. So, Jay, you always come in at the end, bro. I'm gonna have to start texting you when I start, but ain't much to say. I said ain't much to say for 25 minutes, but hey, man, it's kind of the same thing like last year. We're in the same predicament last year when we were doing the show after every game. At this point in time, it's not nothing we can talk about. Shot selection, shot this, shot that, who played what, who did this, who did that. No, it's about just winning the game, bro. Win the game you're supposed to win, and go from there. I don't see Houston beating them. in the regular season. I don't see Houston beating them in the conference tournament. And I think that if they stay the 3 seed, they don't see SMU to the semifinals. And by that time, they're fine. By that time, they're in the tournament. Unless SMU beats Houston. SMU gets in over Memphis because they would have swept Houston and Memphis in terms of bubble. But we'll see that either. We'll see from there. If Gonzaga gets a 1 and not us, I got a question selection committee. Yeah, man. You know what? I was just like I said, bro. I mean, Arizona's in the running for a 1 seed. We're a 1 seed right now. 1 seed, 2 seed, whatever it is. Whatever how that go. But the collection plate has been passed. Pay your tithes and your offerings. That is meaning click the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Click the share button if you're on Facebook. And share it if you're on YouTube too. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down if you like the comments. In the comments or whatever. Comment what you feel about your Memphis Tigers. J.O., don't you print the shirts yet, brother. Don't print them yet. You got to wait till after the Houston game to say print the shirts. You got to wait till after the Houston game to say print the shirts. And then you can go ahead and print them. Have them loaded up, though. Have them loaded up on the computer. So all you got to do is press one button. And just don't print so many this time. Just don't print so many. Just do a small, do a run of like 5 smalls, 10 mediums, 10 larges, 15 extra larges, 10 double X, and all that. All right, good people. I'm gonna holler at y'all next week. Make sure you stay safe, you stay woke, keep your head on the swivel, and we are I got Duke, man. No, actually I got y'all. We're gonna put 30-year-old DeAndre Williams on Paolo Banchero and see if he can hold him down. All right, man. Y'all be easy. J.O., hit me up, bro. All right, peace.